let's talk a bit more about Glaceon, because Unite DB has updated, and oh my goodness, this Pokemon stats are broken! We already knew that Glaceon was very strong, if not busted, but there's some crazy stuff going on with this Pokemon. So when I made my guide, we didn't have this detailed information, and there were a few observations that everyone was kind of experiencing, but I left out because I didn't want to put any wrong information out there. Well, yeah, remember when you just, like, start auto-attacking people because you throw out the Ice Shard and then you're seeing crits pop up, and you're wondering, is that an interaction of Ice Shard or is that an interaction of Glaceon? That's Glaceon. 20% crit rate. What is this Pokemon supposed to be? Because it completely breaks the special attacking mage archetype that you would expect it to have, where it gains cooldown reduction. So yeah, like level 13, 25% cooldown reduction, like 5, 15, 25%. That's generally what happens with a mage. But no, you have the attacker, AD carry profile with higher crit, less cooldown reduction, and no power spike at level 13. So that's why it's like, wait, Glaceon just randomly comes online and starts doing absurd stuff? That's because it kind of mini power spikes every level until you get everything that you want. So yeah, at level 4, Glaceon gains Spell Vamp. And that was another thing, like, I thought I was observing this, but maybe I'm just crazy. Did that wild Pokemon I KO tick me a little bit of health? Or the little health numbers I saw popping up as I was hitting it were actually Spell Vamp? Because Glaceon has baked-in Spell Vamp while also having 80 carry levels of crit and just absurd amounts of damage, and that's why you just one-shot people, and that's also why at level 12, 13, suddenly you just feel 5 times more powerful, and you don't know why. Again, that's because all these little stats are adding up into some crazy stuff. So, 10% crit at level 5, but you also come online at level 4 with Spell Vamp and your Ice Spear. And then level 6 is when you end up getting Ice Shard. Level 7, I think, is the only flat moment in Glaceon. Level 8 is your Unite. And then level 9 is going to be extra crit. And then Ice Shard. But then level 10 is going to be Icicle Spear. Level 11 is cooldown reduction. So just like, you get a little bit extra right there, and then level 12 is going to be the final upgrade on your Ice Shard. And then again, I don't know what happened. Wait, maybe it's the just plus 80 special attack that you get at level 13, and then this Pokemon has some of the highest special attack in the game. So if we look at the overall stats of Pokemon, we have Ninetales, Gardevoir, Espeon, Venusaur, Pikachu, Glaceon. So actually, like, 880 sounds like a crazy amount, but look at this, like, Cramorant's the next one in line. That's over 100 away. That's 140 away for, like, no reason. Like, Cramorant just needs buffs. Doesn't make sense. Like, the Pokemon... all the new Pokemon are just better. But also, Cramorant kind of has, like, this weird bulky side because of the alt movesets and stuff. We can see, like, Glaceon also has, like, again, these weird spiky moments where level 6, second highest special attack, and then it starts to fall off. But again, it's getting so many stat packages while also still remaining in, like, the top something. Like, you know, still the top 7. 7th place, still not bad for special attack as a special attacker, and you can just kind of see you're hanging in there on surprisingly high amounts of stats. We can also use this information to kind of get a bit more insight as to what you want to do. Also, another weird thing, Icy Wind can critically strike. Now, no one's using that, and in my guide I said, yeah, just completely ignore it, we're not talking about it, but apparently it can crit. So I think Freeze Dry is just completely unviable. I don't know what the Ice Shard Icy Wind path is if you actually play it as an ADC kind of Pokemon. Is there viability there? Maybe, probably not, because Icy Wind is just so weak until you hit your level 9 like crit spike, and maybe you even need the Ice Shard upgrade, or at least the Icy Wind upgrade to make it matter. I don't know, I've hit people with like completely stacked Icy Winds, and it barely breaks through the healing and shield of like tier 2 goal, or whatever like stuff is happening. Like, okay, they lost a core of their health, and even if I like double combo it perfect, that's not a one-shot. Icicle Spear is a one-shot. So, could be something about the crits, could be something about the playstyle, could just still be trash, but a niche little thing on the Pokemon. Also, looking at the special attack scaling, what does this mean for score specs or any kind of special attack you're putting onto the Pokemon? Now, assuming you're playing really well and you're getting at least 6, if not 8, most, if not every time you're trying to use the Icicle Spear into that mid to late game, 34 special attack, full stack specs, giving you a little bit over 100. That's only adding like 30 damage per spear, but you're getting like 300 damage from all 8 spears on a fully stacked specs. You're already one-shotting people, maybe the specs doesn't matter, and because we have such like a crazy high base special attack, can play the Wise Glasses and get as much as like 3+ scores from a specs or something. So maybe you go Wise Glasses, Choice Specs, and then Buddy Barrier. I've also found Focus Band to be kind of needed, but then a lot of the times you just get blown up instantly, or it's on cooldown and it didn't matter anyways. So it's really about perfect positioning on the character and then trying to put out as much damage as possible. That could just be like doable with the Wise Glasses. Rest of your special attack scaling, surprisingly low to interesting. Like, this can crit because it modifies your auto attack, and that's how people were like finding these weird crit interactions on the Ice Shard as you stacked it. So again, getting like an extra 100 damage, but you're already hitting for, you're already like critting for 700-800 sometimes. So is that a significant amount? Maybe. Sometimes people barely survive, but if you scale without having the risk of the scoring, maybe it's okay. And then your Unite has like no special attack scaling. So special attack on this Pokemon, useful. That's also where like the choice specs, just the flat damage on the crazy amount of special attack this Pokemon naturally carries. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. That's why you just get like these extra chunks and these extra hits. But there might be some kind of like alt weird playstyle inside this Pokemon. Also, when it gets into medallions, maybe if you can weave a little bit of attack speed and crit, or some special attack and some crit, and then you just find like these weird breakpoints and numbers or something. I don't know. Do you actually want to run the Scope Lens? I don't think Scope Lens Razor Claw works. Like, I think Razor Claw for the crit chance and the bonus damage can work on ranged Pokemon, because you don't need the slow. That's just a nice little extra benefit. But like, do you give up the Wise Glasses, go Scope Lens Specs Barrier? Oh, that sounds ugly. With a little bit of special, or not special, with a little bit of a critical hit chance off of your emblems. But now, like, your Swift might just have, like, a 10% chance to crit and secure things, and then you're snowballing, and then that's just power you're carrying for the rest of the game. Alt shenanigans on the Glaceon. Depending on maybe the opponent, depending on maybe how the game's going, you can tech the Icy Wind 1 in 7 games? I don't know. Maybe it's all... again, it could always just be bad. So there's a lot more to explore on this Pokemon, but when I did my guide, I mostly want to talk about doing your combos, how you manage as many Ice Shards as possible, showing the power, showing that you just want to sit inside of your Unite move and then cast onto something until they're dead, and then like just a lot of gameplay and guidance. But there is more to this Pokemon. Also, one thing I learned is that you can go bot, because even if you get like 2 Audinos, which is a bit easier to do, or even like 1 Audino with most of the experience on the secure and then a solo Corphish, you can tick over into level 4, whereas it's kind of tricky to get level 4 top because the experiences are going to be different. Sometimes you're like level 3.8 and you need to steal a little B before you can get level 4 and then trade out the fight from there. But if you go bot, can actually start to scale really better and then have a chance to take over the game. But I feel it can also go disastrous. If you get like cheesed, if you die once bot lane, like before B spawn, game's over. Like, not even the lane, the game is over because you're too far behind and you really have no way of getting back in. So top is kind of like a safer place to die, but you can also snowball out of bot, and I think there's some duo shenanigans where you can coordinate, making sure your Glaceon hits level 4 before the first B spawn. And then the last observation about the character is that you actually want to be Unite moving on cooldown. One mistake I made in my first day of playing Glaceon for a couple of hours is that I was trying to be really strategic. I'm like, there is so much power inside of my Unite move. I need to make sure I use it at the perfect time. And I really wasn't, like, I was kind of giving up the effectiveness of the move. But even without Energy Amplifier, you can get 4 Unites, because you get it at level 8. So you use it really early on level 8. You don't even need Energy Amplifier, like extra energy rate or anything. You can still use it 4 times, with the 4th one being at Zapdos, and then you get it up for a 5th for like a Goal Defense or a Final Push or something. So yeah, if you just do that, you're exerting power, you're scaling, you're snowballing a lot harder. So if you really want to get ahead on Glaceon and make use of those just crazy nonsensical stats, and you can just burn Unite like your Pikachu when it first got the change. Like, yeah, Pikachu can just unite you on sight like a bot, go grab all the bees, and then have it back up. You can get this thing back in like 30 seconds on Pikachu. Glaceon has the 100-second cooldown, not far off. So that is something to consider, that at the very least, you're getting it back within 2 minutes. Also, if like you unite in, get 2-3 KOs and then die, that's a giga super worth in some situations. Like you just give up the fattest comeback experience ever, because then you're actually getting Unite move charge from dying. You already put down a lot of impact in that fight from just uniting and getting those KOs. So sometimes there's like some weird stuff to where Unite, you multi-kill, you get KO'd, you take 2 camps, and then it's pretty much back up. So you can be pretty aggressive with it, and that's also why I recommend Buddy Barrier on the Glaceon. That way you can actually unite a bit more into the fight. I like trying to do it off to the side, creating a zone of control, pushing enemy into my team, or at least making it to where like I'm kind of safe. But you need to be aggressive with the Unite move, and you just need to lay down like crazy amounts of damage, and you just need to use it quick. You don't want to hold on to it. There's nothing worse than like dying with your Unite move up, because you held on to it too long, you tried to bait or something. No, you want to be engaging. You want to be playing it like a Sylveon, to where you're just going in, popping off, and you get something done, and hopefully there's not too many consequences. But yeah, if you die with your Unite move, it's not like you burn it, get that extra charge and all the weird stuff. So there we go, guys. Those are my thoughts on the Glaceon. It's kind of spooky that Pokemon coming off immediately strong, and that there's still a lot of depth and development that is needed for this character. So things get pretty spooky, and even if it gets nerfed, it can still hold on to S tier, I think. Like, it's going to be one of those things where it gets nerfed, but then the ceiling has been raised, and development of the Pokemon has been raised to where, okay, it's still really strong. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.